Hatun, Tosh, and Jay Smith to talk about what happened yesterday. Yesterday was a pretty eventful day, wasn't it?
It was. So we went to Speaker's Corner with our 26 different Arabic Qurans to talk about it.
And then why did we do that, Hatun?
Why we do that? First of all, one of the reasons we do that because Muslims haven't been open about their holy book. Muslim makes a claim that there is only one Quran. You go to Morocco, you go to Indonesia, you go to England, everyone recites exactly the same Quran.
So they tell us.
That's what they tell us. And they tell us every Quran is exactly the same.
And we've always believed it, haven't we?
Because we are good people.
We didn't do any investigation. It was you 2 years ago in 2015 that you got a hold of a Warsh Quran. And you have an example of a Warsh Quran here.
Yeah, this is not exactly Warsh one, but this is one of the Warsh because Warsh has three
different renditions of it. But the Warsh is very popular in North Africa.
Yeah.
You were in North Africa, you got a copy of it, and you just decided to take a look at the Warsh Quran and compare these two Qurans, the Warsh with the Hafs. Now, this is the one that we use all over the world. Supposedly, we've been told this is the only Quran, the Arabic, not the English. We're not talking about translation here. We're talking about the Arabic. And this is what we use here in Britain. It's, as you say, anywhere around the world. The Hafs is considered to be the standard, the canonical text.
Officialized Quran, yes.
Officialized in 1924.
Yeah.
And when you looked at this one and you compared it with this one, you saw that there were quite a few variations.
So in the beginning, I saw there were only a couple of drawings were different. And I was like, oh, why is that? And then I went to Arabic speaker and then I asked them what they mean. Arabic speaker told me, oh, they are different. It changed the meaning. Soon after I heard that, I started comparing more. As we compare more, we find more.
Now, you're not an Arabic speaker, are you?
No, I'm not.
And I'm not an Arab speaker. I've had 2 years of Arabic, but we would not be called Arabists. So there's no way in the world that we could do this work of doing comparison Arabic with Arabic.
So because of that, we go to the people who speak Arabic, who know Arabic grammar.
So you went to an Arabic scholar.
Teach Arabic.
There you go.
Yes, we went to Arabic speakers and Arabic teachers and then asked them to confirm the findings we find.
And you sat down, and for the last 2 years, you have been going back and forth. Now you have found not just one, you have found 26 different Arabic Qurans that differ from the Hafs, the original. And these are all modern Qurans, aren't they?
Yes, they are. You can go and then buy this from the different countries, from Africa to Middle East.
Where are some of the countries you bought this from?
You can buy it from Yemen, from Sudan, from Jordan, from Egypt.
Okay, so really these are available. Anybody can go to any marketplace in any of the Arab-speaking countries, and you can buy these Qurans.
Yeah, of course you can't buy it every bookshop, but there are the bookshops sells it. So you just go and then ask them if they have any different reading of the Quran.
I want to show you this one here. This one is Hisham ibn Ammar. And we did this on the ladder yesterday. But when you look at it, you will see it has the red letters. So they even show you where the differences are. 1, 2, 3, 4, right here on this page.
Yeah.
These are, they don't even try to hide this. They put in the margins where the variants are. They show you where the variants are.
Yeah. So in some of the Qurans, we've got color code, which tells us this color code, this word is different in Hafs Quran.
Okay.
So some of the Qurans makes our lives very easier. Yet some of them hasn't done that. For example, in here I've got one of the Warsh Al-Azad Quran, Al-Azad Ways Quran. This doesn't tell me color code. I have to compare the graphs and drawings to figure out if there is difference or not.
Now, you have found, and you have spent 2 years working on this, and I want to commend you for all the work you have done. And you have found 45,377 differences.
45,339.
39. I was 2 less. Okay, so 45,000. Now, we wanted to show the world this. Now, last year, we didn't really show the world the differences. We didn't have time to, and yet still there was an enormous eruption. So yesterday, July the 3rd, 2017. July the 2nd, sorry, 2 days ago. So I'm off 2 days. 2 days ago, July the 2nd, we went on the ladder again, this time to show the world what the differences were.
Yeah.
And we did that, didn't we?
Yes, we tried to do that.
Now, you had about 70 slides that we just took at random. There are 45,000. That's too many to show. So we just chose 70, and you wanted to try to get it from as many different ones of the 26 as possible to show you it's not just Warsh and Hafs that have a problem. It's Hafs with all the other 26.
Yeah.
And we got up on the ladder, and we only showed about, what, 15 or 20? I'm not even sure we got through 20 of them.
We showed only a couple of them.
Just a couple of them.
We haven't continued. First of all, we don't have that much time. Plus, I think it's very important that Muslims are open about those variations and they produce something for us. I don't think as a Christian I should be producing a book or a paper which tells us, oh, my dear Muslim friend, here's the variations in your Quran. Muslims should be open about it and they should have been produced something for us.
And you are the first one that I know of that has actually taken the time to find these variations, put them side by side, put them on slides so that everybody can look at them. Now, those 70 of them we wanted to show yesterday, we could only show a few. What we're going to do, and for those who are watching, we're going to show all of the 70 at the end of this video. We will be showing all of them so you can see them one after another put up on your screen so you can go and look and study them for yourself. Go and, if you don't speak Arabic, go to those who do speak Arabic and see if they do change the meaning. In every case, we found they changed the meaning. Yes. Sometimes very substantial, sometimes very tertiary, not as much. The fact that even in one case they would change the meaning is a problem, is it not?
Yeah, because claim is it is exactly the same, but that's not the case. So I think it should be pretty damaging for Islam, even it's only one consonantal letter is changing.
Well, obviously, if this is going to be...
But we've got thousands of them.
They claim it's eternal. They claim it has never been created. They claim it was sent down to Muhammad in between 610 and 632. They claim that it was finalized by Uthman in 652. And they claim not one letter has changed. Yeah. And certainly, if there are changes, as they're now admitting, it's only 7 different changes. We destroyed that yesterday by showing these were all destroyed by Uthman in 652. These all come after Uthman. In fact, they come in primarily in the 9th and sometimes in the 10th century.
We look at the Islamic tradition and then we see in 839, for example, they are talking about someone compiled 25 different variations in 839. And as you go to the 900s, you see people are talking about 50 different variations. So I guess one of the questions will be, when those Muslims says it's 10 reading or 7 reading, when this has been canonized, we will hopefully find them out very soon. And for sure, those are not Qurans which Allah revealed to Muhammad, because we will never know what Allah revealed to Muhammad.
Right. Now, while I'm going to continue, I want you to find that graph. I think we can just show them real quickly that graph. You will see them react. There's reaction while we're doing this yesterday. There were reaction from those who were all there in the crowd. Mansour Ahmad wanted us to get off the ladder. He wanted to debate to us face to face. That reaction was quite vociferous yesterday. And we even saw one man try to knock the camera man and the camera back. He did it not once but twice that I could see. We had to calm him down. What was interesting is almost every Muslim that stopped to listen walked away.
Here's the thing, as a Christian, we step into the Islamic world to respond those claims Muslim makes about their holy book, because we do concern for their souls.
Right.
Their imams, their scholars haven't published those books, and they didn't make those informations available to every Muslim.
That's right.
So, as a Christian, we step in and then we say, here's the information. Muslims, can you please unpack those informations for the sake of God.
Please be transparent, like we have with the Bible. You need to be equally transparent.
Yeah. I can go and buy the critical edition of the Bible, but it is sad, 2017, you cannot buy the critical edition of the Quran.
So we're helping with that. In a sense, we are creating a critical edition of the Quran, and we're showing that there is now, well, if you add this one, 27 different Qurans.
Hopefully Muslims will produce something for us very soon, and it will be accessible to every Muslims and every Christians to look at it and challenge it.
Now, yesterday it really boiled over when we were starting to leave. And as we were leaving, some of the younger Muslims really wanted our Qurans. They did not want us to leave with those Qurans. It was almost as if they owned the Qurans. They could not understand how you could own the Qurans.
So we get a couple of compliments after being called lots of names that we wrote those Qurans. I did take that as a compliment because Muslim thought my Arabic was good enough. and I was rich enough to publish those Qurans.
26 different variations, all done by Hatun Tash.
Or we've been told they are fake, yet all of them has the name of the company who published them. They are all come from the Muslim countries. So you can go and have access to them. It's not I produced any book, or it's not I faking any book. They are all exist out there.
We had to actually flee the corner. They continued to follow. You didn't see it, but they continued to follow us for 400 yards. Even across the other street, they were still trying to grab the Qurans out of our bags. We had to physically protect them.
Because it is sensitive topic. It is the thing they put their eternity on. It is they are depend on. And suddenly, as a Christian, you turn up and then you tell them there is something wrong.
You have been lied to all these years.
You've been lying to. Here's the evidence. That is emotional, and that is heartbreaking, and it is sad. So you can see it is sensitive topic for Muslims.
Listen, Hatun, I want to thank you for all the work you've done. You now watch the video, go and see what we showed yesterday, on Sunday, and then you look at the other slides that we're going to show at the end of this video, and then you come to conclusions. And especially you Muslims, don't sit there and vilify her. Don't get upset with Hatun Tash. She didn't do any of these changes. These changes have been around since the 9th century. We're going to show you all 70 of the slides. We could have 45,000 in the future. Right now, there are 70, and I want every one of you Muslims to look at it, compare the Arabic with Arabic, look and see how they change the meaning, and look at the theological differences that we have put in there. This is not willy-nilly. This is not something done by accident. This is proof that the Quran is made by man, changed by man, accreted and deleted by man. Now, that's not such a hard thing to listen to or hear to, but you need to accept it. This is not a book that comes from heaven. It does not come from Muhammad. It doesn't even come from Muhammad. What we're showing now, really, is that this comes from a man-made book like all other books. And that's why we are doing this work. God bless you.
Here's the Quran. This is the book we're going to look at today. We're going to ask some damaging questions about this book. This is the holy book of Islam. We know that Muslims honor this book. We are not here as hate preachers, but we are going to ask damaging questions. And some of you Muslims are going to get angry at what we're going to say today. We understand your anger. We did this a year ago, and some of you Muslims want to throw us off the ladder. Because the claims you make about this book, we're going to not only look at those claims, but we're going to confront those claims. Now, Hatun, some of the claims they make about the Quran are what?
It's been for a long time we hear from Muslims that they will tell us Quran is the eternal word of Allah.
The eternal word of Allah. Am I correct? Do you Muslims believe that this is eternal? Any Muslims here? Yes. What happened to all the Muslims?
They do believe.
Okay, come forward, sir. Is this an eternal book? Yes, okay.
Yes.
He said that. What's the second claim they made?
They will claim that it was sent down man called Muhammad who lived in from 570 to 632.
Okay. The second claim is that this book was sent down to a man named Muhammad between 610 and 632. Is that your claim? Yes or no? Yes, it is.
Before Jesus
yes or no? I don't want to hear a sermon. Tell me yes or no. Is that your claim?
Come forward, come in.
Come forward, come forward.
No, I'm okay. Go forward, man.
Listen, don't be shy. Oh, he wants to walk away.
Go forward,
folks. We need to see if the Muslims make this claim. Are there any other Muslims here? What's happened to all the Muslims?
That's fine.
Can we get one Muslim to support their Quran? We have a huge crowd here, but not one of you are Muslims.
That's fine. That's fine.
Are you a Muslim? Okay. We're going to have to go assuming that the Muslims are correct.
So it was sent down man called Muhammad from 610 to 632. And then Muslims will tell us it is complete, second edition under the Caliph Uthman.
Oh, wait. Second edition. Where's the first edition? Are you telling me there's two editions of the Quran?
Islamic tradition tells me Muhammad failed to leave book behind himself.
So the first problem is this. There was no Quran left when Muhammad died.
Yes, he failed to leave book called Quran behind himself.
What is the whole purpose of Muhammad if it is not to receive a revelation and to leave that revelation behind? If you're telling me he had no revelation there when he died, then does that not basically question what is his purpose?
Exactly.
Welcome to the world of Islam.
So what do prophets do? They prophesy.
They
receive revelations. They write down those revelations. Have all the prophets written revelations?
Not all of them.
Did David write a revelation? Did Moses write a revelation? Yes. Did Jesus write a revelation? No, he didn't.
Jesus is the revelation himself.
He is the revelation.
So as Muhammad failed to leave book behind himself, first Caliph Abu Bakr compiled Quran.
Wait, stop again. Why did he fail to leave a revelation behind? Why did he not write it down himself?
Beside him to be hopeless.
He could not read or write. Okay, stop right there.
That cannot be excused. That cannot be excused.
I want to break that out. Now, let's look at God in his wisdom. Why would God choose to send the greatest revelation, the final revelation, this book, to a man who could not read or write? Does that make sense to you?
No.
Okay, you've got another problem.
Okay.
Are you starting to add up these problems?
It is not only he couldn't read and write, he didn't even bother to tell people to compile it. He could tell people to write it down, but he didn't do that.
Did he not have a secretary
He
named
did.
Zayd ibn Thabit?
He did.
And what did Zayd ibn Thabit do? What was his job?
His job was to be scribe, write the things
To
down.
scribe what Muhammad said. So why did Zayd ibn Thabit not write it down while Muhammad was still living? If that was his job. Are you seeing? We're coming up with a number of problems here. Yeah. Okay, that's the third problem we've come up with.
So, no Quran after Muhammad. Abu Bakr,
during Muhammad.
During the Muhammad, Abu Bakr urged to compile the Quran, which he compiled the Quran that takes place around 630 to 634. And then that Quran stays with someone called Hafsa, wife of Muhammad.
One of the wives of Muhammad took that Quran. That's the first recension, the first edition. She puts it under her bed. It stays there for 20 years.
And first edition is compiled because they were scared they are going to lose the Quran. Second edition steps in around 650s under the Caliph Uthman.
So the third caliph comes around in the 650s, in 652. To be precise. And what happens next?
So, Uthman ordered to compile one perfect copy. It is because now people start disagreeing with one another regarding what is the Quran, how Quran needs to be read, how Quran needs to be recited. So, around 650s, we've got one perfect Quran compiled under a guy called Uthman.
You're going way too fast. She's going way too fast, isn't she? Yes. I have some questions. Why in the world did they need to write a second Quran if they already had the first?
That's a good question.
She paid it. Wait a minute. If this first one, written by Abu Bakr in 632 and 634, already existed, why did Uthman, 20 years later, need to write a second one down?
Because that was not good enough. That was not good enough. They compiled the perfect copy.
Are you saying it is different then? What do you mean it is not good enough?
It wasn't good.
I thought it was perfect. I thought the Quran was eternal. Didn't the Muslims already tell us it was eternal? Yeah. So how can you say it's not good enough? Because that one came from Muhammad, did it not?
So when the Quran compiled, we hear from the Islamic tradition, a sheep comes and then it's the eternal word of Allah.
Now we talked about that last week, and we went through that, didn't we?
We read from the Islamic tradition, some verses are cancelled, some chapters people couldn't remember. In the time of Uthman, now people are disagreeing how you read the Quran. So people in Azerbaijan, in the war, they are calling each other kafir because of the way,
are you following
because of
what
the
she's
Quran.
saying? Can you all hear her? Yes. Don't worry. This will all be up on YouTube tomorrow. You can see it for yourself. You will see exactly what she's saying. So here you have, 20 years later, the Caliph Uthman is in power. There are different Qurans, is what you're telling me. There are different, what do you call them? Different readings?
It's different word of God.
Different words of God.
Because people are accusing one another as kafir. You are non-believers.
I want a Muslim to help me here. Why did Uthman have to write a second Quran? Help me here. Come forward. Come. What's your name, sir?
Let me just tell you.
What's your name?
Said. Okay, Said.
Nice to meet you, sir.
I'll stay here. First of all, your information that you're providing to these people is all wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, where are we wrong?
I'll tell you why you are wrong.
Oh, this.
Uthman didn't bring a new Quran in. Uthman gathered the Quran in one book because at that time they didn't have the printers and digital printing which we have now, and that's why Uthman, and he put the final thing in one single book. Not even a single word has changed from Quran.
Okay, did you hear me say it?
Let me respond.
Not even a single word has changed. Are you going to stand by that, sir?
Let me respond. Let me back up my claims.
Okay.
Book called Sahih Bukhari.
Do you know this?
It is translated by Muslims, written by Muslims.
Okay.
Who is Sahih Bukhari, sir?
Sahih Bukhari, he's a follower of Prophet Muhammad who is
Did he live in the time of Muhammad?
He didn't. No, he didn't.
Okay.
Follower of the religion, a very good religious person who is committed to his
What did he do? What was his...
Very good religious person. Very good. Let me finish. Very good religious person, Bukhari.
And you
Sahih Bukhari,
Yes.
volume 6. Turn on the page, and then it tells me what I just summarized for you.
Say it.
First, it tells us it is compiled under the Abu Bakr. And then you come to the next hadith. It tells us that Quran, people were disagreeing regarding that Quran. They compiled and made one perfect Quran. You are such
I'll read it. Give it to me.
Let me read it. I'm going to read it.
Guys, she is telling lies.
Are we telling lies, folks? Should we read it for you?
He's got a raised voice.
Narrate it.
She is telling lies. Give it to me. I'll read it and I'll explain it to other people.
I'll read it. Let's read it together.
Who are you, sir? Are you a scholar?
No, I'm not.
Let's read it
And who are
together.
you?
I have a doctorate in this area.
Thank you very much. Well done.
Dr. J.
Well done.
Smith.
Good for
Let's
you.
read
Thank
it
you.
together.
I am a scholar.
Let's
done.
read it
Good for
together,
you.
sir. I apologize for my English.
When there's lies,
let's
can
read
I just
it.
interrupt? When there are lies told in front of
Where
the
have I lied
public,
so far?
Let's say if
You're gonna
Sahih
read
Bukhari is
your own
lying.
material
Just
to
Let
see
me read
who's
it.
lying.
I am going to read it for you, okay? Let's read it toget't is Sahih Bukhari, volume 6, hadith number
And you trust Sahih
4986 to 4987. Page number is 425.
Okay.
It is written by a Muslim for us and it is translated by a Muslim. Narrated Anas bin Malik. Hudayfa bin al-Yaman come to Uthman at the time when people of Sham and people of Iraq were waging war to conquer Armenia and Azerbaijan. Hudayfa was afraid of their people of Sham and Iraq difference in the recitation of the Quran.
Did you hear her say that?
He
There's
said to
difference in
Uthman,
the recitation of the Quran.
I'm
That's what
coming.
it says.
In the recitation.
of the
There's no changes.
Yes, I'm coming.
Go for it. Go for it.
So he said to Uthman, O chief of believers, save this nation before they differ about the book. The
Before
Quran
they differ about
the
book.
Okay.
But you said this is just
Carry on,
recitation.
carry on. No verses of Quran has
Okay,
changed
so it's
at
still
all.
the same
Yeah.
text. It's still the same
If they
text.
differ, they will
Say.
differ on just a second.
They were
they
differ
differ-
according to Tabari. They were calling one another. They were calling
If
one
they
another
differ,
kafir.
let me just tell you something. If they differ, they will differ in translations of it.
This is not translation.
Arabic.
No
You
one's
are
talking
talking-
about translation.
you are talking about
These are
Arabic.
Arabic
Their
Quran.
perception of it is different.
Say.
There are some.
Is there a different translation between Abu Bakr and Uthman?
No.
Are they
no.
speaking the same
People,
language?
we are
Are they
talking-
both
we are
speaking Arabic?
talking- no,
Do they
we are
both
not-
speak the Qurayshi dialect?
Once you finish.
Do they both speak the Qurayshi dialect?
Exactly.
Okay, what is the Qurayshi dialect?
Okay, I'll tell you. Arabic. That's what they do.
What is the Qurayshi dialect?
What do you mean by that?
You don't know what the Qurayshi dialect
No,
is?
I don't know.
You
What's
said
that?
you knew this.
I know that Quran never changed. That's what I know.
That's okay.
Whatever she's saying, but what
So
she's
why
saying,
would you need to write it again if it's a
he
different
didn't write
recitation?
He didn't write it again.
So what
He
is
just
the
put
recitation,
it,
sir?
He just put
What
it
is the
in
recitation?
He just put it in one single book that will be gathered for the whole Islamic nation.
Okay, are
to
you hearing?
follow. And that's why
One
it's happening
single
in
book
there.
that will be governed for the whole of time.
And if you read in Quran,
Hafsa, let's finish it. Let's finish it. Send us the manuscripts of the Quran, as that we may compile the Quranic materials in perfect copies.
But it's
And-
already perfect.
they were
And
not
return to the manuscripts to you.
Did you hear him say that?
So
They
this-
were not perfect to begin with. Thank you, sir. That's exactly what Al-Bukhari is saying as well.
So you are agreeing with Abu Bukhari. You've been speaking, sir.
the gathering of Quran at that time, they were not perfect. He put
Thank
it
you. He
in.
said the
Yeah.
second time.
However, just
So
a
it
second,
needed
let me
to
just
be
finish.
made perfect.
No. The contents of these books, they were 100% accurate, but it wasn't.
Wait, he just
gathered.
contradicted himself.
No.
100%
It wasn't.
accurate, but they were
According to
perfect.
Sahih
How could they
Bukhari.
not be perfect, but they're 100% accurate?
According to Sahih Bukhari.
But what I'm saying,
So that we may compile the Quranic materials in perfect copies and return to the manuscripts to Hafsa. Hafsa send it to the Uthman, and then that takes place. As that takes place, Uthman orders all manuscripts to be burned.
Okay, sir, did you hear that? What did she just read?
read it again, please.
I'll read it again.
After he compiled the final manuscript, okay, then what did Uthman do next?
In case you disagree with Zayn Bitabit on any point of the Quran, write it in the dialect of Quraysh.
The Qurayshi dialect.
And it goes on. Uthman ordered Quranic materials, whether written, fragment or manuscript or whole copies, to be burned.
To be burned. Why do you burn manuscripts?
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Once he finds, Uthman, once he found that there are some scripts of Quran that hasn't been written correctly, in order not to
Here we go, another admission. There was
itself.
Quranic script that was not written correctly. Okay?
We've got a Muslim who confirms there is a problem with the first Quran. Therefore, second Quran was needed to be perfectly done, and Uthman does that
If you
job
read
around
Quran,
650s.
I'll say it in one word in Arabic. In Quran, it said, نحن نزلنا الذكر ونحن له حافظون. It means God will protect Quran himself.
Amazing! Allah failed to
So
protect
he is
the
not
Quran.
claiming today
Allah
that God
failed
will
to protect
protect
the
I'll tell you
Quran.
the Quran today.
I'll just say one
Do
thing.
you all believe the Quran has been protected? Stay here, Zaid. We're going to show you 26
listen.
different Qurans today.
these puppies.
We're going to show you 26 different Arabic
tell you
Qurans.
something.
Arabic Qurans.
No,
Not
no.
translations.
Anybody
Stay
can
right
go,
here.
Any member of this group who are in here can go and say this is being written on Quran, especially anything. But if you go to a proper Quran who is confirmed that this is the correct Quran and stamped by people who knows Quran well,
Stay right here.
then you
We're
know
going to
that
show
there
you
is-
26 different schools of
27.
Quran.
No.
26
no.
different,
27.
not just
Different
individuals, and these
That's
are people
what
you
you
know.
do. That's
Say,
what you do.
we're going to show you a little bit.
what you
We're going
do.
to prove
That's
to you
what you
that
do.
the claims that you
Quran,
have made
if you
are
go to-
absolutely
I'll tell you
wrong.
what, I'll tell you what.
And we will see now
You
who
go yourself.
is lying.
You go, just a second.
Stay right here,
Just a
Zaid.
second.
Let's continue
There are
on.
too many
We've got a lot
mosques.
to do.
I
Just
know,
watch.
I know.
You listen
There
now.
are too many mosques around in the UK.
We're not talking about
No,
mosques.
just
We're not going to
just
talk
keep
about
it. You've got
Change-
a loud
Don't
voice.
change the subject.
Let
Let's get
others.
back to it.
Go to any mosque and get Quran from them.
I did.
No, you didn't. We're going to show you
Everything.
any mosque.
26
I did.
different
I
Qurans
did.
today.
Because
I'll
what
show
you're
it to
talking
you.
is not
I'm
correct.
going to show
No,
it to you.
didn't.
Wait.
No,
wait.
you didn't. Go to any mosque.
I'm going to show you.
Stay right here,
this way.
Said. Stay right here. Don't move. We're going to prove it to you. Let's continue
Go to
on.
any mosque.
Let's continue
I
on.
did that. I did
Go to
that.
any Quran. Get that
I
copy of
did
it.
that. I did that.
And you will not.
I did that. I did.
Because what information you
Said,
get in there
stand
is not
right here.
correct.
Stand next to Daniel.
Just wait,
And then
just wait.
20 minutes later, you tell us if we don't have it.
Okay.
Don't leave, but let's go. Now, what Said is doing here is what Muslims have to do. He knows no different. Don't get upset with him. This is what he has been taught.
I will leave you to
This is what every Muslim has been taught. But we're going to show how wrong Said is. So let's continue
I'll
on.
tell you what. I'll tell
So,
you what.
as Uthman orders the...
I'll leave you
Said, no, don't.
to plan for you.
Stay right here, because you have made a claim, and we're going to prove you wrong.
So, we just...
Are you going? Are you going? Are you leaving? Are you running away? Please don't run away. Stay here.
So, we just did a Muslim.
Now, can you see why he has to go? I can understand. This is embarrassing for him. And it's going to get more embarrassing as we go on. But this is why we have a speaker's corner. This is the only place we can do what we're going to do this afternoon. 2 weeks ago, we were thrown off the ladder. We were able to get back on the ladder last week so that we can do this kind of material. Everything we're going to do today comes straight out of Islamic tradition. We're going to look at the tafsir, we're going to look at the hadith, we're going to look at the sirah, and we're going to look at the Qur'an itself. Everything we're going to do is going to come from Said's own authority. You can see now why he had to walk away. Let's continue.
So, as Uthman orders the Quran to be rewritten in perfect forms, he orders it to be written in the Quraysh dialect. It is written to be in Quraysh dialect, and he orders everything to be burned. Everything to be burned.
So already you can see there's a real problem here.
So,
you only burn manuscripts if they don't agree.
So
Am I
what-
correct?
Yes.
Otherwise you leave them be so that we can look at them today. The fact that we don't have any of these manuscripts today shows that every one of them was different. Now, what Muslims will tell you, like Said said, these are nothing more than different recitations, different readings. Okay, let's continue on. We agree with him, don't we? There were different readings.
yes, there were different readings. So,
I'm just opening the door to you. You can walk right in now. Because that's exactly why we're here today. To talk about these different readings. They're called ahruf. They're called qira'at.
what
Are you all
happens is-
familiar with these two words?
So what happens is, when we look at the Islamic tradition, Uthman, who is caliph, who never met Allah, who never had any conversation with angel, finds it's all right to bring the Quran only in one dialect, only in one recitation. So today, we don't know, and we will never know actually what Muhammad received.
We will not know.
We will never know, because thanks to Uthman, he ordered everything to be burned. And thanks to Islamic tradition, we see it's confused, and more confused.
More confusion and more confusion. Now, we are now going to start to go into these recitations.
Yeah.
Now, you're our Arab friends. I have had 2 years of Arabic, but I am not an Arab expert, am I? Yes. Say no, I'm not an Arab expert. Don't say yes. You have heard me read Arabic. I can read and write Arabic, but I am not an expert. Is Hatun an Arab expert? Yes. No, she's not.
No, she's
now
not.
Listen to what I'm saying. John, you need to help us here.
She's
Don't just say yes to everything I say.
She's not.
Is she an Arab expert?
No.
Am I an Arab expert? Are you an Arab expert?
He's Arabic speaker.
Are you an Arab native speaker?
Yes.
Is this your language?
Yes.
So we're going to use him. But you didn't do this research, did you? No, you did none of this research. The research we're going to show you today does come from Arab experts.
Yes.
Because we're going to look at Quranic material. Now, go ahead. Let's back up.
Yeah, let's just summarize. When we look at the Islamic tradition, in what happened in the time of Muhammad regarding were there different Arabic Qurans or not, Islamic tradition tells us, yes, there were different Arabic Qurans. We read it from Sahih Bukhari, and then we see there are people who are disagreeing what is the correct Would you like to read it for us, Jay?
Yeah, let me read it. In fact, I'll read it from here. So just tell me what page we're on.
In here.
What did Muhammad say?
No, yeah.
I was about,
No, if you
during the time of Allah's apostle, I listened to his recitation and noticed that he recited in several different ways what Allah's apostle had taught me. I was about to jump over him during his prayer, but I controlled my temper. And when he had completed his prayer, I put his upper garment around his neck and seized him by it and said, "Who taught you this surah which I heard you recite?" He replied, "Allah's apostle taught it to me."
ones.
I said, "You have told a lie, for Allah's apostle has taught it to me in a different way from
one.
yours." So I dragged him to Allah's apostle and said to him, "I heard this person reciting Surah Al-Furqan, which is Surah 25, in this way, which you haven't taught me." On that, Allah's apostle said, "Release him. Recite it, O Hisham." Then he recited in the same way as I heard him reciting to me. Allah's apostle then said, "It was revealed in this way. The Quran has been revealed to be recited in 7 ways."
So,
7 different ways.
what we have, Jay, 2 people are reciting the same surah, Surah 25. And one of the listener who listens to Surah 25 gets very upset with what he hears. But he wants to grab this guy from his neck, but he's patient enough to wait until prayer finishes. Soon after prayer finishes, he grabs this guy to Muhammad. Muhammad listens to the prayer. They are 2 different prayer, 2 different surah, and Muhammad says both of them are all right.
Okay.
So far, in the time of Muhammad, we've got people who are reciting the same surah in different ways.
Okay, let me ask
And
you
then
a question
we've got
here,
this.
yeah? You are saying there are two companions who are reciting Quran. When there was no manuscript, how they were reciting?
There you
Memorize
go. So
them.
what were they reciting?
Yes. And how
That's a good
they
question.
were reciting?
That's a good
There was no
question.
manuscript.
That's a
How
good
they were
question. So
reciting the surah in the
people
prayer?
memorize the Surah 25 from Muhammad.
Go ahead. Give us the answer.
People memorize
give
the
us the
Surah.
answer.
Quran didn't only compile. There are 2 ways how they compile.
Actually, we
Quran.
do
One
know
is the
that there
oral
was-
way, and one is the written way.
Okay, was there a written Quran at this time?
Wait a second. I know you have 26 Quran here. 1 year on, you haven't debated that 26 Quran with Mansoor and other Muslim scholars. You don't have any courage to debate with that.
We're here.
They have,
We're here.
They have 1 hour video how the Quran was compiled.
And they didn't date
Listen-
any of the dates on it.
Listen to me now.
He didn't put any
You
dates
tell
in.
me
We're going to show
when
you the
there is a
dates.
oral-
Yes.
when
Okay.
there is
Okay,
a
here we go,
oral-
Amjad.
Oral compilation
Very clearly.
works.
So,
So,
where
that's the
was
question.
this
When-
Quran and where were the recitations?
Just a moment.
Were they
Yeah.
oral or were they written down?
When
You should talk
Surah
about Bible like that,
25,
which is totally changed.
when
and
Surah
it is not
25
reliable at all.
recited differently, Muhammad's response to that was, "It's all right because Quran is revealed to me in 7 different ways."
Thank you very much.
Okay, 7 different ways. Have you caught that? 7 different ways we already now know at the time of Muhammad. Now can you see why Uthman had to bring down 1 text? He needed to take it from those 7 down to 1. Am I correct?
Yes.
We need to move on. He needed to take it from 7 down to 1. So Uthman now decides to use only 1 Qurayshi text.
So,
remember,
in
we just read it. You weren't here when we read it.
You didn't
In
understand the question.
2017, we
Quran didn't
shouldn't
only come
have
from
any other
Islamic
Quran.
It comes from oral tradition as well.
Which one?
That's you need to discuss
Which
here.
oral tradition?
Quickly, let's
It is
let's
started
do
with
this.
Prophet
How do you
Muhammad
know what
and
the
it's
oral?
still going
How do you
on.
know what the oral Quran
The
is?
Ramadan just
If it
finished.
Where and where do you find whether the oral Quran is correct? You need to have a written Quran, right?
Yes.
Otherwise, you could have 1 Quran, you could have another one, you could have 30 different Qurans memorized, but you need to have a written one as a standard text.
No,
Am I
Here's the
correct?
question. Here's the question. Here's the
Quran didn't
question.
compile through written.
If it is-
Quran compiled through oral
So,
compilation.
if it is the
Then it
oral
becomes
way,
to written.
if it is
That
the
you
oral
don't
Do you
way,
all get this? Help Amjad here to get it, okay?
started with a
He's having a hard time getting it.
okay.
But can you all understand it? Can you see, if you're going to have an oral Quran, that means anybody can memorize whatever they want. But how do you know which is the real Quran?
Exactly.
It has to be written down.
Exactly.
So where is that written text?
If it is the oral Quran, is it Umar's oral Quran or is it Hisham's oral Quran? Because they are reciting two different Qurans. So which is the correct one? We will never know. We will never know.
You don't understand.
We understand it perfectly.
Not like Bible, my friend.
We don't even know where there was any oral Quran. Do you believe there was an oral Quran? How can you believe it or disbelieve it?
Oh, really?
It makes no sense.
That's how the revelation
Here we go. Because what is Abu Bakr's Quran? What is the Quran of Abu Bakr if it wasn't written down?
So,
Not
if,
like your Bible written by Mark, Matthew, and Luke and John.
if it is oral Quran, can you please kindly recite Surah 25 in Hisham's version, also in Umar's version? I would love to know which oral tradition you are going to use to recite Surah
She's giving you
25
two oral traditions right now.
Umar's
Recite them
or
right now.
Hisham?
You can.
Which one?
Can
First
anybody?
of all, you should have
Amjad won't be able to begin that.
expert in the things you
Okay,
are talking
Hatun,
about.
Hatun,
But you
can
just
anybody
give
do
the
what you
example.
just asked?
You just give the example.
Is there such a thing as an Umar tradition and a Hisham tradition?
No, but we read from the tradition. Umar and Hisham are disagreeing for the Surah 25.
Oh, that's the question. How they were different?
That's the
How they were
question.
two manuscripts.
It is the oral tradition.
Thank you very much.
Which one is the correct? Which oral tradition
They went
made
to
it to the Bible?
And the board recited
So the Quran.
by
Which
their
oral
memory,
tradition
and
made it to
Prophet
the
said you are both
Quran?
right.
Do you hear what
Thank you
Amjad
very
saying? These are
I
two
get you.
different
I get
oral
you.
traditions. These are two different oral traditions. That means there's two different Qurans.
Yeah, Prophet
They
said-
both come to Muhammad. They both recite it in front of Muhammad, and Muhammad says both are correct.
Recitation.
So can you now see then why Uthman needed to bring it down to one tradition, one recitation? And how many were there? How many did we just read that Muhammad said there were? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 different oral traditions.
And he said to both, you are both
Okay,
right.
Amjad, did these 7 exist? Did these 7 exist at the time of Muhammad?
Sorry?
Did
not,
they-
not in written form, no. Not in
Did
manuscript form.
these 7 oral traditions exist at the time of Muhammad?
I think yes.
Yes.
Okay?
Where they
Okay, here we go.
exist,
We
where
got
they
that much from him.
exist in the time of Abu Bakr. Was the 7 recitations, 7 oral tradition was existed at the time of Abu Bakr?
Yes,
The
Yes.
companions were alive.
because while Muhammad was alive, Abu
Companions were
Bakr
alive,
comes
they know
after.
Quran by heart.
Was it existed in the time of Umar?
Yes,
Yes. Was it existed in the time of Uthman?
Yes.
yes.
Was it existed after time of Uthman?
No!
No.
don't know.
And that's the problem.
I don't know. Listen.
What do you
in
mean
the
you
Battle
don't know?
of
We
Yamama,
just read it.
You know,
Uthman wrote one tradition.
Battle of
He only
Yamama
brought it down to
was
one tradition.
Listen, man,
The
listen.
Qurayshi
You would
dialect.
understand this.
The
Listen to
Qurayshi
it, yeah?
dialect. Thank you. We
Listen to it,
finally
you
got
would
him to.
understand
It's
it.
taken us 10 minutes for him to finally agree
In the
with us.
Battle of
Let's move
Yamama,
on.
lot of companions
You've
were
just
died.
made
That's
our
why
point.
Uthman compiled the Quran in 7 different
So
copies.
by the time of Uthman,
There was a
there
oral
should be
tradition
only
as well.
one Quran, right?
Yes.
20 years after Muhammad died, he died in 632. Uthman compiles the final Quran in 652. 652.
There are many people who are alive who know Quran by heart,
he did.
by memory. What's the problem?
So there was many
There
Qurans.
cannot be a difference.
There was many
There
Qurans.
cannot be a
Sal.
difference like
Are they the same as Uthman's Quran?
Bible, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so now we finally
that
come
change
to
don't
one
come
single
inside the
Quran.
Quran.
Admitted that
And
Bible
all the
is
other ones were burnt. Now, you just read in Sahih Bukhari that he burnt the other Qurans.
He was eating.
Did he burn
and
people?
drinking, and after that
No,
he was
he burned
going
the
to
Quran.
toilet.
So he
Right.
burnt written Qurans.
Yes.
These are written manuscripts that he burnt. You don't burn people.
talking
You
about
burn
dialogue.
manuscripts
That's what
Yeah,
Uthman
but
did.
why? Why?
because they were different. Why do you burn manuscripts?
Because he compiled 7 copies of
He chose
Quran.
one dialogue. So what is the problem?
Okay, here we go. All right, now.
That's why
Talk about you, Jesus Christ. He was eating and drinking. This is most important. He was eating and
Here we go.
drinking. And after that,
Okay,
he
here we
was
go.
going to the
He wants to
toilet
change the
for
subject.
poop
They
and
always
pee.
want to change the subject when we curse in the Quran.
For
So
poop
let's
and
move on.
pee.
We're running out of time. We're going to keep going. So what happens next?
You are
He
talking
then
about
takes
dialogue.
that
He
fame,
chose
that one
and he left
final
6.
Quran.
So
Listen up,
what is
Judge.
the problem?
He takes that one final Quran and he sends it out to every
One
province.
perfect.
Yeah.
So how many provinces were there?
Perfect, but
9 provinces.
Yes.
And what are they? Basra, Baghdad, Damascus, Jerusalem, Cairo, Alexandria, Egypt, Herat, and Nishapur. 9 provinces.
Yeah.
9 Qurans to 9 provinces, and with each Quran, he sent somebody
Yes.
who was a teacher, somebody who had memorized that Quran.
Yes.
So you have 9 men going to 9 cities at the time of Uthman with 9 manuscripts.
Yeah. When we
Just like
look
the
at the
people
Islamic
who took the-
tradition, we see Islamic
The same
tradition is a bit
thing happened
confused
with the
because
guy- with
some
the
people say
Christians.
it has
They
been sent to
took
the 4 cities.
a lot of
Some
man
people
took the
say it's
angel
been sent to the 6
whole of
cities,
the world.
5 cities,
So
8
what is
Okay,
cities.
Amjad,
But we
where
know that
are
they're not.
those 9 manuscripts?
Even
Where are the 9 manuscripts?
different dialogue in the Bible.
Where are
Were you
they?
here last week?
Dialogue. in
We
Jerusalem.
destroyed those manuscripts last week. There's not one of those manuscripts that existed today. We can't find one of the manuscripts today. You better not use the top copy. That's still 8th century. You better not use the Ma'il. That's early 8th century. You better not use the Husayni. That's late 9th century. You better not use a Pentapolis. That's early 8th century. You better not use a Sada. That's early 8th century. Now, one of the major manuscripts is from the 7th century. They only begin to appear in 705. Muhammad died in 632. Uthman canonized the Quran in 652. You've got a problem. We can't even find one of the manuscripts. But it gets worse than that, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
Okay, here we go. So now we know none of those manuscripts exist today.
Yes. So around 650s, from 650s, there should be only one Arabic Quran.
Egyptian dialogue.
Okay? That's why Muslim tells us there is only one Quran and everyone memorizes the same thing.
They found in the
But
Bible.
when you look at the Islamic tradition, actually there are more than one Quran.
There are more than what?
More than one Quran.
So there are quite a few Qurans, you're
Yes.
saying.
Yes.
So what you're going to show us today is that today, even today, in 2017, she, Hatun, has been able to collect 26 different Arabic Qurans.
Lie!
We're going to show them to you right now.
Lie for 26
We're going to
different
show you these 26 Qurans.
Oh, really?
So stay right here, because we're going to hold them up for you.
I saw that last summer. Don't worry. How many? And you still didn't
Come
debate
on,
that.
we're ready. Are you ready?
Have the courage to debate.
I want you guys to see these 26 Qurans.
Let's go through them then.
Put it on the other side. You don't even know how to grab it.
David. Okay. So
Okay, I want all of you with Qurans to come in front here. Come stand in front here.
He left the Bible. He was
That's 27,
yes, that's the 20. That's Hafs one.
You're dropping, you're dropping, you're dropping.
That's fine. I'll get them.
Okay, while they're bringing this up, let me give you some background. Hatun has gone around to the Arab-speaking world. Now, Hatun is not an Arab speaker. I am not an Arab speaker. I read and write Arabic, but I do not speak Arabic. She is from Turkey. But what we're going to show you today, Muslims are not going to tell you. This is material that no Muslim wants you to know about. We're going to show you not one, not two, 26 Arabic Qurans. These are not translations. These are not English translations. These are not Turkish
Turn the other
translations.
side.
Every one of these
Numbers
are
to the other
Arabic
side. Turn the
Qurans.
numbers to the side.
I want you to hold them up.
Don't even know how to at this. Look at this.
Amjad,
Look at this.
Okay, shall we go through them, Jay?
Now hold these up. And what do we now know about these Qurans?
So,
Amjad says there's nothing. Now, Amjad, do all these Qurans agree with each other? Are there two Qurans that agree with each other? No! Is there even one Quran that agrees with the Quran we have here today? No! This is the Quran we use today.
It's the same Quran.
This is not the same Quran as these ones we have here today.
There are, we've got 26 Arabic Qurans, and we've got Hafs Quran as the 27th one.
Whatever you like.
which one? No, you bring it back.
Okay, you can see the Muslims are starting to get upset now. It's understandable why they're upset. This is normal. Muslims have not heard this before. And everything we're going to share with you next.
Which one is Quranic dialect? Which one is Quranic dialect? Which one? Give it to me.
There is no Quranic dialect.
No, I will say this is my book. I will say this is my book. One is my book.
Which one is it?
Okay.
Which one is it?
Which one?
Which one is it? They're all the same. They're all the same. Okay, Hatun, help us now. Let's unpack. Let's unpack. And I want the Muslims to keep quiet for a minute. I want the Muslims to keep quiet so we can say what's going on here.
There are 27 Arabic Qurans out here. One of them is the Hafs Quran. One of them is the Hafs Quran. So we've got 26 Arabic Qurans. They are all different from one another, and all of them are born from the Quraysh dialect. All of them are born from the Quraysh dialect.
Okay, so every one of these Qurans, are you listening? Every one of these Qurans comes from the Qurayshi dialect. But there's a problem. Now, one of these Qurans that we're holding up is the same as the other Quran.
No, that's it.
Every one of them is written in Arabic.
We are proud of our Quran and its compilation.
You're going to not be proud after today.
Unlike your Bible, you are ashamed.
Okay, Hatun.
Every time
I want you to explain what's going on here.
So,
we are proud of our Quran.
We've got
Millions of people know it by heart.
Which Quran are you reading?
other side, okay? So, we've got a Quran. Let's just go through them one to one, okay?
100 Bibles. 100 Bibles.
More than 100.
Now, do you notice? These are not translations. None of these are translations. Every one of these are Arabic Qurans that you can buy today. You can go and buy them yourself. They're available for everybody. But do you notice you will find many of them will have different colors. Do you see the red there?
Yep.
Do you see the red there?
Yes.
Do you see the red there?
Yes.
Every time you see a red word, that is a variant from this Quran that I have here, the Hafs Quran. This is the Quran you're looking for. This is Al-Duri's Quran. Every time you see a red word, it is different from this Quran here. Now, tell me, Al-Duri, how many differences have you been able to find?
Which Al-Duri is this?
Al-Duri, Al-Duri 4645.
Okay, so in this Quran, we've got 4,645 variations versus Hafs Quran.
Okay, do you hear what she's saying? In just this Quran, this is Al-Duri's Quran. His date is from 860. Al-Duri is from the 9th century. This Quran from the 9th century has over 4,000 manuscript variants from the Quran we have today.
4,645.
4,000 differences.
4,645.
Now, why have you Muslims not told us this
Which
before?
manuscript are you checking?
Why is you Muslims have not said this
Which
before?
manuscript are you checking now?
This is just one of 26. He says, show me. We're now showing you.
No.
Every time you see a red mark, that is a variant.
And they said we choose just
Look
only
here.
one book, not
1,
the
2,
others.
3,
Okay?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 variants in just these 2 pages. From your Quran,
And
that
I
is
know,
different
and I get
from the
your
Quran
point.
we're using today.
You have the same
This is the Hafs Quran.
You don't know. So you don't know this topic. Forget it.
Please, what?
Don't come with vowels. It's a simple Arabic.
These is not vowelization.
You don't know.
The vowels are right there. There's the Dhamma, there's the Kappa, there's the Kasra down here. Of course they have vowels. Read it again.
In the original
They
manuscript.
have vowels
In the
there.
original
It
manuscript.
is
In the
9
written, we're showing you the written one.
This is 9
This
centuries.
is the written book.
Oh my God.
Look at, there's a Kappa, there's a Kasra, there's a Dhamma. It has vowelization.
Oh my God. And this is called variant.
And this is what the Muslims do not want you to know. There is not one Quran, even today.
Talk about your angel.
So,
Bible.
That's just what.
Same thing happened.
that's Quran number 1. This is Al-Duri's Quran. Contains 4,645 variations to the Hafs Quran.
Talk about your
Okay, here's another one.
To the back. This goes to the back. Listen, it goes to the back. Put it back. That number 11 goes to the back.
Alight Ibn Khalid. Alight Ibn Khalid. Look, I open up to any page. Can you see the blue words? Every time you see a blue word, that is a manuscript variant.
You will find the same
Ahrufiyya, you say. They believe that this is just recitation. Folks, we're going to show you this is much more damaging than recitation. Every time you see a blue word, that is a different word than the Quran we use today. How many variants?
This is Al-Lahit Ibn Khalad's Quran. It is differences from the Hafs in 5,000 words.
5,000 words that are different in this Quran than the Quran we're using today. 5,000 words difference between these two Qurans.
Why do you run to the Bible? He's hiding. He's
He's now trying to go to the Bible. He already doesn't want to defend it.
Here is another Quran. This is Shuba ibn Ayas Quran. It is 504 differences from the Hafs
Shuba
Quran.
ibn Ayas has 504 differences between this book and this book that we have here, the Quran we're using today.
There is a lot of version not said.
This is another Arabic Quran. This is Yaqub's Quran. It is different in 1,765 areas with the Hafs Quran.
So this one was written in 805, early 9th century. It is 1,700 words that are different in this book than the Quran we're using today. Every time you see a variant here, they even write the variants in the margins.
When you hide that and you are speaking
Now,
about that,
Hatun.
you are.
Muslims will say,
I read it. I know.
if you look at this graph here, we're going to put this graph up on the screen.
7 versions.
We will show you this graph.
Okay.
Hatun, these are different cities, right? There you can see Mecca. There you can see Medina. There you can see Damascus. There you can see Kufa. And here you can see Basra. 5 different cities. Each one had a scholar go to these cities. Don't wait. Each one had a scholar go to these cities, right? Those 6 scholars had students. Those students wrote their own Qurans, did they not?
Yes.
And each student had variations from the Quran we're using today.
Yes.
Let's go and just give a few examples.
Okay, for example, Al-Bazi is the student of Ibn Kathir who was in Mecca. Al-Bazi is disagreeing with the Hafs Quran in 1,094 words.
So Al-Bazi disagrees with the Hafs Quran in 1,094 differences.
Yes. And then we've got Kumbal Quran. Al-Bazi is disagreeing with Kumbal in 312 different words.
So even between the two students, they disagreed with each other in over 300 places.
Yes. And then in Kufa, we've got Hamza's Quran. He's got two students, Khalaf and Khalaf.
So we have Khalaf and Khalaf, students of Hamza, and then even Khalaf disagrees with himself how many times?
So Khalaf has two Qurans. One of them contains 2,629 variations. Other Quran contains 2,892 variations.
So you have one student that writes two different Qurans. One has 2,800 variations.
It is attributed to the hymn.
So you can see, he did not even agree with himself.
Yeah.
Can you see why this is so damaging?
You want to debate on
Can you see why this is so damaging?
You want to debate
And then we look at the students' writings, comparing them. We say students are agreeing with one another in 601 words.
Okay, can you then see, while these are hundreds and thousands of difference, and these happen from city to city to city. Look at the dates. These dates are the 9th century, not the 7th century. So the Quran is changing even as late as 200 years. 200 years after Muhammad, they're still coming up with new Qurans.
So here is what we've got. Looking at not all of the 26 yet. Looking at those Qurans tell us they are disagreeing with Hafs Quran in 45,339 words.
So when you add up all these differences between the 26 Qurans, Hatun has already found 45,000 differences. Did you hear that? There are 45,000 differences between these 26 Qurans and the Hafs we're using today. So, Hatun, when was the Hafs that we're using today? When was this Quran finalized? When was this Quran canonized?
So, even though Imam Hafs died in 805, the current Quran has been officialized in Egypt in 1924.
So the Hafs we're talking about is this man right here.
In Kufa.
He's from Kufa. He studied under Abu Bakr Qasim, and his name is right here. He died in 805. He died in the early 9th century. This is the Hafs from which this book is taken.
Attributed. We don't know.
But we don't even know, because we don't have a manuscript. We have no idea where the Al-Azhar scholars got this book from.
Probably from the Ottoman Empire.
Probably from the Ottoman Empire. Now, what we're going to do, folks, we're going to show you how different some of these are. Because many of you Muslims, those of you who are watching, and others who are here, you will say these do not change the meaning. You said that. You said that. That this is nothing more than Kirya, Ahruf. These are different recitations. They're different pronunciations. No, they're not.
Even with the Bible.
These are not different pronunciations. But you're not going to believe us anyway. Now, there's no way we can show you all 45,000. There's too many, are there not? So what we want to do, we want to show you one after another. We're going to show you just a few of these 45,000.
45,339.
I am talking about Quran, I am talking about the Bible also. So I'm not afraid. You are scared. I get your point. I get all your point. But you don't want to get my point. This is the issue. That's why I am talking.
Or do we need to do this?
There's a difference in Quran, so this is a bullshit religion. But the same thing is with your Bible. It's also say it's bullshit.
Let's start. Look at the differences.
Get my point now? No, I don't. See?
So most Muslims, whenever we bring this up, they always say, now look at Surah 1, Ayah 4. Hatun, they always look at Surah 1, Ayah 4.
Yes, so they recite the Surah 1, which is the Fatiha, and then they say it has nothing to do with the meaning. Let me read the Surah Fatiha for you.
So in the Hafs, it says Maliki. Maliki means the only owner. In the Warsh, it says Maliki, which means the king. The owner, the king, they both have the same meaning.
They're similar.
And that's what the Muslim think they're talking about. This is the one they always give as an example. If you look on the internet, this is the one they always show. That's not very much different, is it?
It's all right. I don't have that much problem with
The
this
owner
one.
could be the king could be the owner. But we're not going to spend much time on that. So let's look at Surah 2, Ayah 10. Surah 2, Ayah 10 says, Yaksibuna. What's that mean? Yaksibuna.
They lie.
It means they lie. Okay? And over on this side, it says Yukazibuna. What does Yukazibuna?
They cause in lies.
They accuse others of lying. So they lie here, but on this side, they accuse others of lying.
I have listened last year.
So they don't lie, they accuse someone else. Does that change the meaning?
Definitely.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely, that changes the meaning. Amjad, how do you explain that?
Explain that.
Explain that to me.
I am not Arabic expert. I can't explain that. Arabic expert would explain that. Don't like this Arabic. Get a Muslim Arabic expert. He would explain.
If you look at the verse, are they doomed to hell because they lie, or are they doomed to hell because they accuse someone else of lying?
Really?
You would like to know, wouldn't you? There's the first problem.
Even when you look at the graph, you see it is different from one
And you
another.
see, Amjad is now backtracking. So now let's look at Surah 2, Ayah 15. Now we're going to look at Hafs, and we're going to look at Kalun.
So, Surah 2.
About we have it against you also. So what is
We don't make the claims about the Bible that you make about the Quran. We know the Bible's written by man. We never made these claims about the Bible. You say this comes from God.
Here's the problem.
You say it is perfect.
Here's the problem.
You claim it's never been changed. We're showing you where it's been changed.
Here's the problem. So let me respond to that.
a lot of dialogue happened with your Bible.
Yeah.
Greece.
Let me
We
explain
know
that.
there's variants. We've always been admitted that. And we know where the variants are.
Let me tell you. In Muslims today, though, there are the changings in the Bible. Reason for that, Christians have been open about their scripture. They look at the Bible and then they see the footnote.
The fact that he knows that, the fact that he even claims that, is because we are the one that told him.
Yes.
We have found the variants. We know where they all are. We have been transparent about it. Why have you Muslims never admitted this?
Your Bible is
Why
not
are you
perfect.
Muslims
Your
never did
Bible
this
is
work?
not perfect.
And why are you now so upset? We're going to prove to you that your Quran comes from man. It does not come from God. It does not come from Muhammad. It does not come from Uthman.
You are admit now.
We will show you there are many Qurans. Let's continue on.
So look at the Surah 2 verse 58. Hafs and Kalun Quran are disagreeing one another.
And you so what is not for me? Then what is good for me?
And your Bible also.
We shall forgive.
Very much. That's what my point.
It shall be forgiven. So is God forgiving? Is we God? Or is it coming as a default? Does the no? It depends on which one you read.
He's expert. He's expert. You are said.
No, about your Bible.
Completely different meaning, doesn't it? So who does the forgiving? We, God, or is it arbitrary forgiving? That's huge theological.
Are you asking him or telling him? Are you asking him or telling him? What is it?
Asking him for the Arabic. Asking him for the Arabic.
We are talking about your holy book. I will take it seriously since you make serious claims about your eternity.
Thank you. Can you see why we're doing this? Now let's go at Surah 2, Ayah 125.
Surah 2, Ayat 125. Hafs Quran versus Ibn Amar's
So we're
Quran.
going to another Quran. We're trying to get as many different Qurans to show you how they differ from the Hafs. So in this verse, Surah 2, Ayah 125, it says, take. Do they take this place now, or has it already been taken?
As
So
Ibn
here,
Amir says.
Itakizu versus Itakazu. What's the difference? Itakizu versus Itakazu.
He doesn't know.
There's a difference.
What is the difference? I'm asking.
Das is they take.
Say it again.
Das is take. Das other one they took.
They took past tense. So one is now taken.
Now and one in the future.
So
Next time bring a Quranic expert. A Quranic expert next time, yeah? Don't bring him.
Can you see why we're doing
help
this?
you.
Can you see why this is important? Is this important for all of you? Probably not. But for the Muslims, do you have a question about this? You're right in the camera, sir. Sir, you're right in the camera.
So, even Muslim makes a claim that not even a dot changed, it changed the theological context. That's shame actually. That's shame actually.
Okay? Now let's look at this one. 2:140. Here you have Takakuna. Takaluna versus Yakaluna. So Takaluna versus Yakaluna.
They say, you say, and they say.
Okay, you say or they say. And the verse says, or do you say Abraham, Jacob, and his offspring were Jews? Over here in the Warsh it says, or do they say that Abraham, Jacob were Jews?
So when it says you, it is talking someone very close. When it says they, it is someone else. Group of other
Can
people.
you see? Or they say that Abraham. So you and they are both plural, but it's two different key characters. So two different meanings. So who knows better than Allah? You or the other?
Here is Mansoor. Here is Mansoor.
Can you see why we're doing
Here is
this?
Mansoor. Come on. Daniel Mansoor is here. He's here.
Okay, here you have 184.
So this is Surah 2 verse 184. Hafs versus Hashab Ibn Amar's Quran.
And Masakina. Mishkinan and Masakina. What's the difference?
He knows Arabic. One, Misakin is two.
You know, it's two. So for those unable to fast,
Wait.
can they feed one poor man or many poor men? One poor man or many poor men? Can you see why we're doing this? Is this different?
It is different.
Calm down.
Your nightmare is here.
Different.
John, just stay here. Don't worry about it.
Your nightmare is here.
Quran is a nightmare.
Don't worry. He will
Wait.
You are saying to me, bring him.
Okay, look at the verse.
In Hafs Quran,
Daniel, you are
we
saying
got
bring
a
him.
great. In the Warsh Quran, it is a great sin.
So you have the great sin versus plenty of sin.
Yes.
Does that make a difference?
It does.
Huge difference, does it not?
Yes.
Okay, let's do the next one.
Let's go.
Surah 2 verse 251. Hafs versus Warsh al-Azhar way. So we've got three Warsh Quran. This is only one of them.
This is one of the three Warsh conversions.
In Hafs Quran, it is repelling. In the Warsh Quran, it is defense. Allah
Okay,
defense.
you can read it. Is there a difference between those two words?
There is difference
Yes.
in your Bible.
Das دفع هذا يدفع.
What is the difference now? What is the difference now?
Okay, what's the difference? What does that mean?
دفع الله ولو دفع
There is no nothing.
So this is repelling some men, and this one defend against men.
No.
So you have two different meanings for two different words. Okay.
Bible have got different.
Another example, this is Surah 3 verse 37. We've got Hafs and then we've got Al-Bazir. In the Hafs Quran, it is, and he put under the care, versus in Al-Bazir, it is, he took charge of her. So
Can
they
you
are
see
two
the difference
different
there?
things.
Okay, let's continue on. Surah 3, Ayah 79.
In Hafs Quran, we've got you teach. In the Yaqub's Quran, we've got you know.
so you have two alimun versus lamun. What is the difference there?
I will tell
يعلمون
you,
is in the future.
find
You teach تعلمون. They teach, and the other one you know.
Okay.
So you teach, you know. There's a difference there as well. Okay?
Let's speak about the Quran.
Daniel.
Surah 3, Ayah 83.
Daniel.
So we've got Hafs Quran versus Khalf al-Ashar, al-Doraway. So in the Hafs Quran it is, they sick, shall they all be returned? In Khalf al-Ashar's Quran it is, you sick, and shall you all be returned?
Can you see the difference there?
Find it perfect. But you choose only.
So you have two different words, two different meanings. They change the meaning.
You have the same.
Okay, Surah 3, Ayah 146.
Listen.
So
Now look at here.
in the Hafs Quran it is fought, in the Susi Quran it is were killed.
Now let's go ahead and read this.
Daniel, you are scared, yeah?
And how many a prophet has fought?
I'm never scared.
How many a prophet has fought? But in the Susi, it says, how many a prophet with him were killed?
Why you are scared?
Does that not change the meaning?
Yes.
What would be rather you be a prophet? One who fights or one who is killed?
Fight one.
I would rather fight rather than be killed.
Yeah.
And in here we've got Surah 3 verse 195. Hafs Quran versus Khalf al-Ashar's Doraway's Quran. Again, in the Hafs Quran it is fought and were killed, versus in the Khalf al-Ashar's Quran it is were killed and fought.
Okay, you have fight, and on this side, then they were killed. Are you seeing, John? Does that make a difference?
Doesn't matter. Hey, you can take a picture.
واقتلوا وقاتلوا.
Yes.
Okay, does that change the meaning?
Yes.
So two different meanings. On this case, fought and were killed.
And when we killed and the fight.
So how can you be killed and then fight? You can't. You fight first and then are being killed. So you can see that's a grammatical error as well.
So in here we've got Surah 4 verse 5. We've got Hafs Quran versus Warsh Quran. In the Hafs Quran it says means of sport. In the Warsh Quran it says walis.
Now, is that different? Are these different words? Do these have different meanings?
Okay, hold on. Excuse me, sir. Watch yourself, please.
Why are the Muslims always violent like this? Come on, Muslims, calm down. Calm down. Calm down. If you're going to be violent, just go. We'll call the police. We'll ask you to go.
I'm calm.
Then why were you trying to beat them up? Sir,
Okay, let's continue.
sir, be a good Muslim and stop this. It's always the Muslims who get angry.
Hang on. Why? Ask them to calm down on my level. Come on now, come on.
Okay, here we go.
So, we've got Surah 5, Surah 4 verse 5. In the Hafs Quran, it is meaning of sport. In the Warsh Quran, it is the walis. So they are different.
Okay, let's continue on.
Surah 4 verse 13. Hafs Quran versus Warsh al-Asabani way Quran. In the Hafs Quran, it is he will admit him. In the Warsh al-Asabani Quran, we will admit him.
Can you see that's different? Okay.
Yeah. Another different one.
Are we going to do all of these?
No, you don't have to do all of it. We
Okay,
can
which
do
ones do you want to do?
It's up to you. I know.
Where's your favorite one?
It's just go.
Is it 43?
443, isn't it?
Yeah, let's go 443. Give me 443. 443. This is her favorite one. We could do 70 of these, but because rather than do all 70, I think you're getting the right idea. I know you're getting angry. Calm yourself. Have you noticed Christians don't get angry like this? Why is it we don't get angry? Because we love you. There's no reason to get angry.
So, Surah 4, verse 43. In the Hafs Quran,
Here we go again. Here we go again. There's something that Islam does to people. And this is what Islam does to people. You used to be a nice guy. Now that you're a Muslim, I'm sorry, but Islam is doing this to you. You need to calm down. You need to calm down. Come down. Let's continue on. Surah 4, Ayah 43.
Surah 4, verse 43. In the Hafs Quran, sir, can you read it for us? You want to underline?
وإذ كنتم على سفر أو جاءكم أحد من الغائط أو لمستم النساء.
Yeah, and then can you read the Hafs Quran for us?
أو كنتم على مرض أو سفر أو جاء منكم من الغائط أو لمستم النساء.
Okay, what does that mean, and what is the difference? On the Hafs side, you touch them sexually.
Sexual. That's if you touch them by your hands.
By your hand, non-sexually. So it's two complete contexts.
Yes.
Wow. One is sexual, one is non-sexual. The same verse, two different Qurans. You cannot say that this doesn't change the meaning.
It does change the application of Muslims' prayer life.
What's that?
It changed the applications of the Muslims' prayer life.
Okay, let's summarize what we've just done. I'm going to show you what we've just done today.
I know that very
Now,
well. I read it
Hatun,
last year.
we've looked at these Qurans, haven't we? And you came up with 26. We don't have time to go through all 26. We're just showing you a smattering. We held up the 26 Qurans for you. We showed you that these are Qurans you can get today.
Bullshit.
You can get them.
And that's why
She
you
got
don't
them.
discuss.
The fact that you Muslims have not looked at these differences. The fact that you Muslims have not been opaque about it or transparent about it. The fact you Muslims know everything about the Bible because we tell you everything about the Bible. We are transparent about the Bible. You can criticize the Bible all you want. But as soon as we criticize the Quran, look how angry they get. Look how angry they get. They have a problem with this.
Here's the thing. Your imams, your sheikhs, they didn't even bother to provide critical version of the Quran for you.
Now, explain what do you mean by critical version?
I should be able to go to bookshop and buy a Quran which gives me all those variations instead of for me to take time from my friends and my families and find them.
These are thousands of variations. We just showed you about 20.
For 100 years,
45,000 we could show you.
Muslims should be able to provide us something, but they did not even bother for your eternity, sir. Now we have to do that work by ourselves. So we look at the 26 Qurans plus Hafs Quran, that makes 27 different Arabic Qurans, and we've got 45,339 variations between them. They do not match with the Hafs Quran. You've been told lie for centuries, and still your friends are not allowing you to hear the truth. That is very shameful, sir.
Okay, now look it. We have been showing you that the variations, these variations are not the ones from the time of Abu Bakr. Those were all eradicated by Uthman when he canonized the Quran in its final form in 652. So you cannot say these are the 7 ahruf, these are the 7 kiryat, these are the 7 variants that Muhammad was talking about. This has nothing to do with those 7 ahrufs. These are all much later. Look at the date. 864, 904, 812, 835, 859, 856, 843. These are the 9th and 10th century. Hundreds of years later, these Qurans start to get changed. And they start to have variations. And those variations still continue today. That's why we were able to buy these Qurans. Hatun bought these Qurans. These are her Qurans. Not one of them agrees with each other. And not one of them agrees with the Quran I have here. And these are modern Qurans. So what's the problem, he asks? That proves that the Qurans that you have today, there is no one Quran. There is no one Quran.
There is not one Quran. There is not two Quran. There is not third Quran. There is not fourth Quran. There is not fifth Quran. There is not sixth Quran. There is not seventh Quran. There is not eighth Quran. There are 26 different Arabic Qurans.
Different Qurans.
Arabic Qurans from the heart.
What's the point? What's the point? What's the point? You haven't even been here. He has no idea what we're talking about. Here we go. So we have shown you 26 Qurans that disagree with this Quran. 26 ones that disagree with themselves. Yes. So who wrote the Quran?
Good question.
Did Muhammad write it?
No.
Did Uthman write it?
No.
Did Al-Dudi write it?
No.
Did Khaldun write it?
No.
Did Hafs write it?
No.
I'm still waiting. We can go on and on. None of these men wrote the Quran.
Matthew wrote it.
And now can you see why we're bringing this up?
Matthew wrote it.
Can you see why we're writing, why we're saying it? Now, the Bible we know is written by men. We've always said so. Matthew wrote Mark, Mark wrote Mark, sorry. Matthew wrote Matthew, Luke wrote Luke, John wrote John. We know, we've always been clear that these were written by many men. But Muslims, you need to be clear that your Quran does not come from God, does not come from Muhammad, and does not come from Abu Bakr, certainly does not come from Uthman. It looks like you've got many Qurans. None of them agree. Therefore, it is a book written by men. It is not divine. It is not eternal. It was never sent down. It was never complete. And it has always been changed.
But if the Muslims are looking at Revelation, which is identified as the eternal word of God, which is identified as sent down, and which is identified as the complete, then they need to come to the Lord Jesus Christ. Lord Jesus Christ is identified as the eternal word of God.
The eternal word of God.
He came from heaven.
The eternal word of God. Who is the eternal word of God?
Jesus.
Is Jesus eternal?
Yes.
Was Jesus sent down?
Yes.
Was Jesus complete?
Yes.
Is Jesus unchanging?
Yes.
We got it! What is his name?
Jesus.
Who is the King of Kings?
Jesus.
Who is the Lord of Lords?
Jesus.
Who is the Word of God?
Jesus.
Who came down to earth?
Jesus.
Who died on the cross?
Jesus.
Who then rose again?
Jesus.
Who now is in heaven?
Jesus.
Who waits for you and me?
Jesus.
Who wants to bring you home?
Jesus.
What's his name?
Jesus.
What's his name?
Jesus.
Who is the Word of God? The eternal Word of God. Come on home to Jesus. God bless you. We destroyed the Quran and the manuscripts last week. We destroyed the Kid on the Novice this week. In 3 weeks, we're going to destroy Islam itself. We'll see you in 3 weeks. God bless you.